Hey, how you doing, everybody? Welcome back to another episode, Got Concept. I'm your host, Mr. Pagan, aka Mark Pagan Jr., reporting live from the peaceful, tranquil places that nature has taken me. And I mean, it's a hell of a breeze. I can hear the birds chirping, you know. It's beautiful, you know, feeling the breeze, birds chirping. Not really worrying about much at this moment. Even though the world around me, things is going on everywhere things is going on. I'm not too concerned about the world around me though, because I'm building my own world, I'm building my own legacy, and I'm staying focused on what's important to me, no matter the cost, no matter how that may look to anyone else, because that's all that really matters. That's all we really have is the things that's important to our life, the things that matter in our life. You know what I mean? The loved ones. A lot of people, we let a lot of us let money get in between our relationships with our loved ones, with children, your family in general, and things like that. One thing about it is I would never do something like that, because there's no need to ever let money get in between any type of relationship that you have with a person, especially when there's bigger and more important things in life, like the relationships, the times that we share with each other, the moments and memories that we make with one another. Those are the things that matters in life. And we let something so frivolous that goes and comes and goes on a daily basis, like $1, get in between that, or the love of another. You know what I mean? Sometimes we get envious of the love of another, so we choose to lash out or try to safeguard or try to defend or hold on to so tight that we don't want anybody else to experience the love of this person, even if it's not physically. A person don't even got to be trying to love on a loved one physically. Sometimes the love is platonic. Sometimes it just naturally happens. And a person won't let that love connect. They won't let that love connection happen because they're threatened that your love might be stronger than their love. And you might take the love that they have away from them. So, yeah, that's why that was deep. I don't even know how I got into that, but yeah. Damn, there was a fruit fly on me. Okay. Yeah, man. Creating in the midst of adversity is one of the toughest things that I can say I've experienced. Creating in the midst of adversity is something that you have to do. It allows you, it don't allow you to do nothing. It stifles you, and it's hard to do things in the midst of adversity. But what it does is it refines who you are. It refines your flavor, your style to whatever that may be. Even now, with discovering all that I'm doing and all that I'm able to do, even now, I'm noticing that at times I got to slow myself down, when I'm talking, because sometimes I move too fast. Like right now, I'm sitting here doing this podcast, and I'm fairly new at doing this podcast. I've been doing it for, about half a year, almost a year. But the whole thing is, it's a certain way you got to sound or speak at times when you're trying to do a podcast. Even when you're like right now, I'm out back, I'm recording this podcast, and there's things going on all around me. We have nature, we have different aspects of life that's going on, we have neighbors and everything. So you know, creating through that adversity, through life, those things that just naturally happen actually makes everything better at times, you know. At times you'll think that something's happening askew, but actually it's happening right along with the things that you have to do. So, there you go. How you doing, man?
I'm all right, bro. Was that you on the, come down 6th Street?
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, I was looking at you like, damn, I know.
Yeah, that was me. I'm actually recording an episode of the podcast now. I mentioned that happening on the episode I recorded yesterday, because it was crazy. Because I had a deja vu about that moment.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I had a deja vu about that moment. Like it's funny because I dreamt that years ago, and then it happened, and I'm like, huh. That means I'm heading in the right direction. You know what I mean?
Right. That's what they say about deja vu.
Yeah. Good thing. From that to this, that was an amazing transition, you know, and how we really can't lean to our own understandings about a lot of things. You know, we are, I know I beat this thing like a dead horse, but we got three aspects to us: our spiritual, our mental, and our physical. And we are a duality at the same time. You know, that holy trinity of you is always pulling in one direction more than another direction. And you leaning towards your own understanding is pulling in a different direction than your own natural moral compass. Not moral compass, but your own natural compass in general, like where you're being led to, where you're being led to in life. You know, we have to let certain things happen. And certain things that does happen, sometimes we're not in control of those things. Sometimes we're made to let things happen that shouldn't happen. And once those things happen, you know, we start to lean towards our own understanding, what's going on, what's this, what's that. You know, we start to come up with crazy hypotheses and situations and all types of things in our own head. Because sometimes in your own mind, it can kind of drive you crazy dealing with different things on a daily basis, and you coming up with your own understanding, and you leaning too heavily on that understanding. I've dealt with a lot, and I went down that rabbit hole, you know, of leaning towards my own understanding, not really understanding what's all going on around me at one time, you know what I mean, and gaining the knowledge and the wisdom to know that everything is being seen, everything is observed by, you know, by those here and those, you know, higher planes of existence. Everything is watched. You know, everything is a spectacle to someone. Leaning to your own understanding is just understanding that he who knows that he knows nothing. I mean, you know what I meant to say. A wise man knows that he knows nothing at all, basically. And, you know, that being said, it's like, you know, we can learn so much and acquire so much knowledge that we think that we know everything in the world, when really we're only scratching the surface. Because the more that we learn, the more we have questions about what if, you know. And we all know that if was a fifth, then we'd all be drunk. The whole thing is, man, you had these the kids that shot up the SEPTA buses. They got caught. All of them got caught. And what we got to realize is that, not what everybody need to realize is everything is tapped. Ain't nobody getting away with nothing unless they want you to. And we know now who they are. It's forces that play in your everyday society every day. And you can't get around it because every day is a new day. And if we all subscribing to the suggestion that every day is planned out or somehow this is divine, that we're following a path by some higher creator, right? By a creator, and we're on this path in our life that it's like we're bound to do certain things or go down certain lines. Like just a moment ago, me speaking to a neighbor about a podcast that I did yesterday, and that deja vu moment. That moment earlier wasn't deja vu, but the moment yesterday was. And that was significant because that ties 2 episodes in for me. And it was the first time I had that happen on my podcast. And I'm not leaning towards my own understanding. What I'm doing is I'm crafting my own destiny. I'm creating my own legacy, what I believe every man and woman and child is supposed to do out here. But the thing is, we can't get too caught up in the nonsensical things. We can't allow ourselves to go crazy by what's playing on in our mind, by what's playing off in our mind. You have to grow up and realize that you can't hurt yourself and you can't hurt others. Any destructive behavior or tendencies is merely just mirrored back to you. So, you are what you reflect outwardly to the world. So if you want a positive aspect on the world, if you want a positive outlook on the world, if you want anything positive to come your way, you have to be a positive person. You don't have to be happy-go-lucky, so JoJo, couture, but, you have to at least exude positivity in your life. You have to think positive things because everything is manifested through first thought. And then that shows on your expressions, the expressions that you make on a daily basis, how you treat people, how you treat yourself, especially how you treat yourself, because loving yourself is loving the God or goddess that's in you. So that's something that you have to do in order for you to, receive any type of blessings from a higher power or even from yourself. You know what I mean? Because we can bless ourselves just by being, just by existing, just by knowing that we're observed and everything that you do under the sun is watched by somebody. So why not be beautiful to that person that's watching you, to that being or that creator or that higher, being? Why not be something beautiful for them, if not for yourself? Because being beautiful for you is being beautiful for your creator. Being a positive person and being, outgoing and forwardly spoken is being beautiful for your creator. The 2 sides of leaning to your own understanding is really, okay. It's the outward side, people looking at your situation and they're judging. That's them leaning towards their own understanding. But you leaning towards your own understanding is looking outwardly or looking inwardly and thinking that something is what it ain't, because you have to step away from any picture, situation, anything to really understand a thing, because you have multiple sides. You have sides to the sides. The flower of life is a never-ending circle. And if you're inside of one of those circles, how can you even fathom to perceive anything that's going on in another bubble or circle? Because that's a whole nother life force that lives differently, that breathes differently, that eats differently, that thinks differently, that lives differently from you. They have different planes of reality. And truth be told, some of us get stuck within this time warp thing where sometimes we're in two bubbles at one time. You're in this body, you're in this world, but spiritually, are you here or are you someone or somewhere else? Mentally, are you here or are you somewhere or someone else? Because at times it could feel like that. The cognitive dissonance, imposter syndrome. Some people develop a level of imposter syndrome. You start creating things and you really lose track of the things that you create and you put out into the world. And next thing you know, you got things that you created out there and people's responding to you and looking at you based on a thing that they seen that you created or heard or read about you. So technically, you could be perceived to be many different people based upon who seen or heard or listened to or bumped into something that you created. Because, you are multitudes. You could be an evil guy one day. You could be the nicest person another day. You could be the most generous person one day and then the most selfish person the next. The most spiritual and then the most physical the next. The most intellectual and then the most, irregardable in the next moment. So, it all depends on how a person catch you, what moment they catch you in. But it's not all you. That one moment or that one thing that you created or that one thing that you put out there ain't you. A person will have to sit down with you to really get an understanding on you and really get to know you. And that would be them not leaning to their own understanding of you, because everybody has their own understandings of people. It's like I can sit up here and look at a person from afar and judge them all I want, but I'll never really know what's going on with that person until I actually meet them and say, hello, how are you doing? What's your name? And actually get to know a person. And nothing is done in secret. Everything is taped. So, everything is recorded in a way. Morality has become uncommon in today's society somehow. A lot of things that were deemed to be moral and conscionable aren't moral and conscionable now. It's like you can live a whole life and just do things that's unmoral. And if nobody points it out to you, you'll continue to do that. But you got people that even when they're when you point out the immorality and the things they do, they still continue the same behavior. And that's simply because, morals has been dumbed down. Morality has been dumbed down to the point where, it's uncommon in today's society to see an ethical, moral person. At times you gain morality. You can gain that those ethics in being, but you have to grow and you have to evolve mentally, spiritually, and physically, because a lot of us get hung up on worldly things. And whenever you hung up on anything that's really irregardable, that's really like just bullshit, like your own thing. If you got a pet peeve, if your hang up is that pet peeve, or if you just got something about people that you really don't like, and if this person do that, you don't like them just because of that thing, then yeah, you're an immoral person. Because how could you not like a person based on something that they do that you don't like? That's just their character. They can't help that. If they smack when they eating and you don't like people that smack when they eating, does that make them wrong for smacking while they eating? I think that make you wrong for even judging the way a person eats. How can you judge a person for how they eat or sleep or live on a daily basis when you don't walk in their shoes or you don't live their life on it every day? We all deal with a lot of mental anguish. We deal with a lot of physical pains. We deal with a lot of spiritual woes that we all trying to get over. And that's why we can't be judgmental. We can observe, we can learn from, we can talk to, we can try to help through, but you really cannot be judgmental. You have to be observant, especially in today's times in society, because we understand that we're attached to way more than the things that we see on TV or hear on these radios. You know. Let me see. Yeah, did that. I'm trying to come up with different segments and things like that. I went from one atmosphere to another because I just had to, move around a bit. Ate a little tuna salad sandwich, drunk a little tea. That's about it, man. Y'all know. Y'all can catch all my stuff on any streaming platform as Mr. Pagan, as far as the music. The books, Mark Pagan Jr. on Amazon, Kindle. I think I successfully got it on the Apple. I think I got it on Apple Books. Still working on Google Books, Barnes & Noble, other places. I still got to do the audiobook. There's a lot of things that I want to do. I just hope that I'm afforded the time and the privilege to be able to do these things. Because time isn't guaranteed. You know what I mean? The ability to be able to do certain things isn't guaranteed. You know, I could walk outside today or tomorrow and lose the ability to speak, to write, to see, to live. You know, so every day is a gift granted to us that we take for granted. You know, a gift that's granted to us. That's why every day I try to do something creative. I try to create something and put it out there into the world. I'm composing more music right now. I'm putting more projects together as far as literature, as far as books wise. And as you can hear, I'm still doing these podcasts. I slowed down on the YouTube thing. I slowed down on making videos and doing things like that because I don't want to live above my means. And a lot of times I have to go in my own pockets to buy products and things like that to review. At times I am given products and things like that because it's a reciprocal love thing that goes on. You know, I create and I put it out there, and a lot of people show me that show their not a lot of people, some people, very little people show their appreciation and love for what I put out there. I'm gonna be honest with you. Very little people show their appreciation and love for what I'm doing or for what I'm putting out there. And the mark that I'm making, and what I'm standing on my business. You know, everybody else got their business that they standing on. I'm just standing on my business, so. All right, well, this has been another episode of God Concept. I've been your host, Mr. Pagan. Y'all have a great day. Enjoy the rest of it. Peace.